I want y'all to interact with me, yeah.
I don't know.
A minus B, quantity squared. Which shortcut is that? Okay, y'all pretty much suck.
I don't know.
Number is.
A, we went over this in the review section. A plus B, quantity squared, is shortcut number 1. Shortcut number 2, A minus B, quantity squared. Shortcut number 3, A squared minus B squared. Shortcut number 4, A cubed plus B cubed. Shortcut number 5, A cubed minus B cubed. Which one is it? A minus B quantity squared. So which shortcut is it?
2.
Thank you. And why couldn't y'all answer that at the beginning?
Because I didn't know the answer.
Don't know the shortcuts, right?
Yeah, I really don't.
Okay. It's one of those things I told y'all in the first unit. Okay, I don't know who said that, so I'm not picking on anybody. I don't know who said it. So you need to know the shortcuts. Those shortcuts will follow you all the way through DiffEq. So if you're one of the students that's going to be all the way through DiffEq, you're going to be using it in statics, dynamics, thermodynamics, and even in your ECE classes, your electronics classes, you're going to be using the shortcuts. So if you want to drop down to a global studies course, then you might want to, or major, you might want to do that. I saw a major on one of the football teams the other day, and you will not believe, I wish I could, it is studies. Oh gosh, what was it? Oh my gosh. And he had like a 3.8 grade point average in it. I can't think of it. I'll think of it eventually. It was something.
Recreational.
It was, no, one parts and recreation. It was something media studies. And I looked at 3.8. I said, yeah, I bet there's a lot of math and science in that one. Anyway. So anyway, this is A minus B, quantity squared, is equal to A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. And that will give you that. So I want everybody to write that down and make sure you understand how I got cosecant squared minus 2 cosecant cotangent plus cotangent squared. And now write everything in terms of sine and cosine. Oh my gosh. You actually did what I told you to do. Wow. You're the one person that did it. I'll show the, look at there. Miss Mandy, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but she went to the internet and she actually printed out the identities like I said, and she brought it to class. Wow.
Any of us did that?
Huh?
I don't know if we did that.
Usually about 2 or 3 people out of 30 do it. That's why I'm amazed. So,
I have a question.
yes.
What do we do if we input an answer to the homework and it says it's wrong, but I'm right?
That would be kind of like a challenge, wouldn't it?
I don't see where I'll do that.
What? What are you supposed to do when you think something is right and the computer marks it wrong? What are you supposed to do?
Just do a similar question.
No.
Email Hubert 5 times.
Annoy Hubert.
Yes. Yes. Send me 15 emails. Yeah. Hopefully y'all can answer that question.
Square root of 2 over 3.
What are you supposed to do?
Come see.
See Hubert after
Class.
All right. So the cosecant squared can be written as 1 over the sine squared.
This is criminal.
Cosecant, I know, I'm a bastard. Cosecant is equal to 1 over the sine, and cotangent is cosine over the sine, and cotangent squared is cosine over the sine quantity squared, which can turn into this. And now you should be able to finish it. Because what do you have right here? Oops, I forgot the negative. You have shortcut number what?
Shortcut.
You have shortcut number 2. You have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So that goes this way, and you get 1 minus cosine quantity what? Because what's the square root of 1? 1. What's the square root of cosine? So that's cosine squared. Cosine. What's 2 times 1 times cosine? So you've got shortcut number 2 right there. And now that goes down to a minus b quantity squared, which is 1 minus cosine squared, 1 minus cosine squared, and then what's this? This is 1 plus cosine squared. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be a minus. Sorry, I must have moved it. This is supposed to be 1 minus, yeah. This is 1 minus cosine squared. And a lot of people say, well, that's the same thing. No, it ain't. This is a kitty cat and this is a tiger, or vice versa. This is totally different from this. This one don't have what? Parentheses, Hubert. That's right. So this is shortcut number what? Number 3, which is a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times what? A minus b. So that's going to be 1 plus cosine, 1 minus cosine, and what happens to the 1 minus cosines? They cancel, and you're left with this right here. Now this is a prime example of 10%. 10% is the first 2 lines. You change the cosecant to sine, that's the 10%, because the first 5% is shortcuts. The second 5% is trig. What's the rest of the problem? Algebra. This is another prime example of what you're going to see in calculus. You're going to see 10% new material, 90%, 80% algebra, 10% trig. Who's got a question?
I did.
Did what?
I did what I'm good at.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the other homework problems. I got down, I feel like I've done y'all's homework for you, because I did I've looked at, that was number 30. So I've gotten all 10.1 down to 30. So I feel like I've done y'all's homework for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, let's go ahead and start with this one. I'm still working on these, the ones that have the table. I'm still working on those, but those are not test questions. So when I get those figured out, I'll do it probably next week, Thursday, whatever the case may be. So this is number 8. Is it a test question? No, God, it's still that same table. I thought that was, hold on, 10, there we go. 10. There we go. Is this a test question? Yes. So rewrite it. Go ahead and rewrite it. And what do they tell you to do? Rewrite it as a function or power of a single trigonometric function. And I'm going to try to give you 2 problems for each homework problem. So hopefully you'll feel good about yourself. Even if you talk funny. That wasn't meant towards you. Could
Either
be
you
meant
or
toward myself.
me or Billy.
Yeah. Billy, I didn't make fun of the way you talk. That's all right. Billy's already turned me in. She's done 5 agreements. Billy's going home, try County Tech before this semester's over.
That's the goal.
Something done crippled her, and I done made her feel insecure about herself. So
Are you teaching math 130?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you gonna take 130? Why aren't you gonna take 140?
Because
You
they
switching
told
majors?
me that 130 would probably be easier, and I can take either one for my major.
Okay, so you must have a business major.
I'm planning on maybe owning a business, so like
So
it's the
business
best.
management, yeah. If you want to take
Yeah.
130, and 130 is a good precursor to 110, especially if you're an associate in science and you want to take a lot of maths and sciences. 130 would be a good warm up for 140, and it will suffice in business, but it won't go the other way around. And I do teach the 130. It'll be the Polycom 130, and it'll have Polycom. It'll be Anderson campus, Pendleton campus, Easley campus, and Oconee campus. It'll be the only one that has like Polycom beside it. Thank you for bringing that up, because I'd like to have all the students I can in there.
We can go directly to 140 from this class, though.
Yeah, we're trying to get it here. I've already talked to the director. He's emailed. Heck, wish somebody emailed the president. Tell him we need to take it here. I don't understand why they won't offer it. If you got how many students? 4 or 5 here, 9, 8 or 9. How many's up there? 9. That's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We got 20 students that want 140 on Polycom, but we're not going to offer it. You have to go to Pendleton. I told the president, we had a meeting last week. I said, I got 20 students that want the Polycom 140, and they said they have to go to Pendleton. I don't know if they're doing good or not. Wake up. Are you concentrating?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you do? Write everything and everything. Write everything in terms of what?
Sine and cosine.
That is the general rule. So 1 over the sine, 1 over the cosine times sine over cosine over 1 over sine. Now, when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the what? So I'm going to simplify this. Sine over cosine squared divided by 1 over the sine, multiply by what? Sine over 1, sine squared, cosine, whatever, theta, whatever, over cosine squared. Well, what's the sine squared over the cosine squared?
Tan squared.
And you feel good about yourself. Now now notice the directions. Do the directions say prove?
No.
No.
No. The direction says write as a what? Okay, there's going to be 3 types of problems on this test. A proof, rewrite, and rewrite as a single. So this is a good, it's simple, and it's crawl before you can walk. So your answer, this is a test question. Don't expect too many of these, because it's kind of on the simple end, okay? The one we just did, that will be, several of those will be on the test. And you feel good about yourself.
On the test, is it going to be the same thing where it has like the middle, or can we just type in the answer?
There'll be both.
Okay.
There'll be both, because I like to put both of those on there. All right, next one. That was number 10. Oh, I want to give you another problem. I went and found another one. How about cotan, tan? Now, this one's pretty simple. Cotan, tan. And I can't pull up my, there we go. Cotan, tan. Rewrite that as a single term or single trigonometric function.
Just one.
What? Well, yeah, it's the one too, but I just want you to go through it. You kind of ruined it,
I'm sorry.
Mandy.
I'm sorry. I'll show
Can I be in charge for a while? All right, what's cotan?
1 over tan.
Oh.
It's cosine over what? Well, you can do it that way if you want to. Cosine over what? Sine. And what is the tan? Why do I love to put that one on the test? Because if I give 30 people that test question, 5 will not even do it. Why? Because they think they can't do it. All you have to do is write it in terms of sine and cosine. Feel good about yourself, Pendleton?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Somebody said no, so we're going to have to do another one. Next,
Okay.
11. This is number 11. Oh, yeah, that's a test question because most of y'all will what? Quit before you even start. Go with your general rule. Write as sine or cosine when you can. You're not proving, you're rewriting. Gotta lay off them Marlboros, Joker. You know, I don't think I could be an actor.
Yeah.
If I had to smoke all them cigarettes, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. Good gracious. That sounds like a meth cough.
I've been sick for the past 6 days.
All right, here we go. All right, what is sine squared? Well, sine squared can be written, but I'm not going to focus on the sine squared. I'm going to focus on the secant and the cosine's okay, but the secant. So I'm just going to rewrite this as sine squared x over cosine squared x, and we could change that to tangent. I know that, but I want to focus on, make sure I'm following my notes right. Yep. Yeah. So I'm going to change that to plus 1 over the what? Cosine. And then cosine x over 1. Make sure you put and make sure you do this because you might try to get a common denominator because you think it's all adding. And it's not. And of course, what is cosine over cosine?
1.
And what is this?
Tan squared.
So tan squared x plus 1 is equal to what? What? Secant squared. And that's your answer. Now notice, we're doing some very easy problems. Why? Because a lot of people that have never had identities before, and I remember talking to several of y'all that said you never had trig before, you just sit there and stare at it. You don't know what to do. Okay? I realize that some of you have had trig before, and I realize that 3 or 4 of you invented the subject. Okay? So, am I teaching to those that know it, or am I teaching to those that don't know it? I'm teaching to those that don't know it. So, get over it. All right, so I'm going to give you another one to go with that one. So you'll have a couple in your notebook. Let's do cotangent squared over sine squared plus tan cotangent. And you'll see that it works kind of the same way. And while you're doing it, ask yourself how many times do you look at the identities to see what to do. If you have the identities beside your notebook or in your notebook, how many times do you look at those identities? Well, there's no too many. I mean, well, if it takes you 15 minutes to do a problem like this, then chances are you're probably thinking too hard. So what's cotan over sine? The what? Cotangent, I mean,
Cosine over sine.
hold on, let me make sure I wrote this down right. Make sure I didn't write, that's supposed to be cosine. Sorry, I was thinking cotangent in my head. Sorry. That's supposed to be cosine.
That makes it.
Yeah, that makes it a whole lot easier. Cotangent squared. Plus 1. Well, what do you mean plus 1? Well, what is, the tan is tan over 1. And what is the cotan? 1 over tan. So that's 1. So what's the cotangent squared plus 1?
Secant squared.
Cosecant squared. Now, by the time you do some of these crawling problems, when you get to one that you're actually walking, you can start to see your way through it. We get a lot of students that just try to tackle the walking problems before they tackle the crawling problems. I know where I'm going. I know how to put it together. I know the directions. Anybody familiar with those kind of people? Usually they're males. Sorry. 11, 11, 13. 13 says, write the following expression in terms of sine, cosine, and simplify. Okay, you should be able to get this without any problem. Pythagorean identity. What is 1 minus the cosine? Sine. So make sure you do the sine. I'm just going to put a 3 and you'll see that it's a sine. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be a test question or not because that's a little bit too simple. But I might give you one of them. Unless y'all want to screw it up. Okay, just throw a couple. Okay. 13, 13, 17. Yes, that's a test question. Go to it. This one, 10%, I'd even say 5%. Identities, 95% algebra. Well, 80% and 20% because you got to do trig at the end of it. I'm impressed that you actually copied that out. I mean, I really am impressed.
No, it makes it a lot easier to remember.
You're supposed to blame everything on me. Tell how bad of a teacher I am and all this, and that you've never been able. Oh, Lord, I forgot about Miss Payne. Why didn't y'all tell me about Miss Payne? Oh, gosh. Y'all did that on purpose, didn't you? Poor old Miss Payne. I bet she's already hung up.
Oh, she's in the class.
She's probably done left. Yep, I bet she's already left. My phone is on silent. I'm sorry. She ain't come back on.
Took you long enough.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck. Well, you know what happened, Miss Payne? I asked everybody, do I need to let anybody Skype in? And nobody said anything. They don't just said, no, everybody's here.
That's a lot.
You didn't say it. They didn't do something about that. They are dead. No, my phone was on silent because sometimes my phone is blowing up, and in my previous classes I have to put it on silent, and I forgot. I'm sorry.
We get it. You're popular.
I know. I just don't know how to handle it. All right, so I'm going to rewrite cotan as cosine over what? Cosine over sine. And then what is the tan? What's the tan? Sine over cosine. And then secant is 1 over the what? Cosine. Now do the algebra. Cosine, sine, over sine, cosine. Minus cosine over sine, cosine. Now I'm going to take my red marker. Minus 1 over what? What's 1 over the sine? 1 over the sine is what? The cosecant, right?
Oh.
I'm going to give you another one just so you can have practice. Do, or have it down, I'm not going to do it, but you can do it at home. Cotangent, secant, minus tangent. Then you can work on that one. I'm going to go to the next question while y'all working on that one. And you're going to get cosecant minus 1 on this one. So that's number 17. 19. Okay, it looks like this is going to be the algebra. This is 1 over a plus b minus 1 over a minus b, which means we got to get a common what? Denominator. I haven't seen this problem. I think somebody just sent me this one. So I'm going to get a common denominator. This is shortcut number what on the bottom? This is a plus b, a what? Minus b. So I'm going to multiply, I'm going to make the common denominator equal to a plus b times a minus b. So that's going to be 1 plus sine of x times what? 1 minus the sine of x. So I'm going to put that under both of them. So I'm going to do a baby step here so y'all don't get lost. Okay? So I'm going to make my 1 plus sine of x, 1 minus sine of x, minus 1 plus the sine of x times 1 minus the sine of x. Now, 1 plus the sine of x minus the sine of x can be written as 1 minus sine what? Squared of x. Now, I'm not writing it like that right now because I want you to see that I'm getting a common denominator. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what is x over 3 plus 1 over 2? What's the common denominator? 2 times 3? 2 times 3. Y'all say 6, and that is correct, but I'm not saying 6. This is 6. This right here is your 6. I'm breaking this up into 2 times 3, 2 times 3, and now 3 will go into 3 2 times x is 2x. 2 will go into 3 times 1 is 3, so I get 2x plus 3 over 6. Everybody remember doing that in pre-algebra?
Yeah.
I hope so. How many times will 1 plus sine of x go into this? 1 minus sine of x, Hubert. So what's 1 minus sine of x times 1? 1 minus sine of x. How many times will 1 minus sine of x go into this? 1 plus the sine of x. 1 plus the sine of x times 1 is 1 plus. Shoot. I suck. I'm going to get training one day. 1 plus the sine of x. So now I put all that, got to distribute this negative. Is this important? Yes. If you forget that step, you might as well not even finish the problem because it's going to be what? Wrong. Y'all are on ball today, Pendleton. I can't believe y'all talking to me. What'd y'all do? Take y'all Xanax or what? 1 minus sine of x minus 1 minus sine of x over 1 plus the sine of x, 1 minus the sine of x. I love watching people, and there's a store near my house because I don't go to town very much because I don't like people. So I go to the store a good bit, and I always like to see either the 15th or the 30th because you can tell it's payday. Because people act all happy, like weird happy. Or if it's not the 15th, or that means they took their medication or something. But you can always tell when somebody's taking their medication or it's payday. Because they act goofy. Not the Pendletons acting goofy. Y'all just acting different. Y'all just took y'all's medication, I guess, because y'all are actually talking to me. Now they're not going to talk to me. I didn't hurt your feelings. Well.
No, you didn't hurt.
What?
You didn't hurt our feelings.
Okay, good. What's 1 minus 1?
21.
Make sure you put it in. What did she say?
She said 21.
Okay, 1 minus 1 is 21. Okay.
He doesn't get it. No.
No, I don't. Tell me what you're talking about. Tell me.
Look up 9 plus 10 equals 21 video. It's funny.
9 plus 1 is what?
No, it's
9 plus 10 is equal to 21.
Well, actually, in a mod 5, 4 plus 0 is equal to 5. I could actually prove that, but that's called combinatorics, and I'm not going to get into that. But in a mod 5, I think that's where that may be. Is it talking about mathematics or something else?
It's a joke. It's just to be funny.
It's serious.
Okay, tell me what
I'm
it.
gonna make you laugh.
Okay, what is the video called? I'd like to look at it.
I don't know what's it called. I don't know. It's a Vine, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do it in class because they'll say something and it'll offend somebody. And okay. What's the negative sine of x minus sine of x?
Oh, 12, because 9 plus
Minus
1.
2 sine of x. And what's the bottom? 1 minus sine squared. Somebody tell me which one says negative 2 sine of x over 1 minus sine squared. Okay, 1 minus sine squared is what? Cosine, so that's your answer. That is a good test question, whoever sent that, because that one's been sent while we've been in class. Good test question. Are y'all bored? Is that y'all bored? Is that what it is? Okay, 19. Who sent that one? Miss Zerbel, thank you, Oconee. You did good on that one. Pendleton's still thinking about 1 and 1 is 21. 20.
Right.
You gotta say it, buddy.
You have to say the 21.
All right, try this one.
Let me look at Oh, it's a me.
Before you start this one, nobody writes algebra like this. Nobody. And they try to confuse you by writing it like this. How should you rewrite this before you even start? How would you rewrite this?
Oh, wait. I found it.
How would you rewrite that?
You
Okay,
distribute
I don't
it
do
out.
mumble and I don't do whisper.
You distribute it out.
No, but what would I rewrite before I did that?
3x
I put the
plus
3 in front, because most of you, 99% of you, don't write it like this. 99% of you know what to do when you see this. So, change that because it's not written the correct way. Cosine squared times 1 plus tan squared is equal to 1. Now do it. Now you can distribute, then write in terms of sine and cosine, or you can write in terms of sine and cosine and distribute. I don't care. Just like up here. You know, if I needed to rewrite these two, I could rewrite then distribute, or I could distribute and rewrite. How are we doing on time, Minnesota? Okay, that just told me that I've got like what, 15 minutes left?
24 minutes.
That's fine, 15.
15 minutes.
15 minutes is good, because I don't want Pendleton to self the bus.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct.
I gotta go take another Xanax.
If it gets up there in Pendleton. They try to hide behind Pendleton, but they're all naked. They up there at those apartments, my daughter's up there. She's probably doing meth too. Got one at DSS and the other one's a meth head. So, I get cosine squared plus cosine times tan squared is equal to 1. Now the only thing I need to focus on is the tangent. So I'm going to rewrite cosine squared plus cosine, parentheses, sine squared over what?
Cosine squared.
And what happens to the cosine and the cosine squared?
Cancel.
Now that should be, hold on, that should be
Squared.
cosine squared. That should cancel. And you're left with cosine squared plus sine squared. And what's cosine squared plus sine squared?
1.
Then you feel good about yourself. And hopefully some of you are starting to see that these things are not complicated, but they're very what? Intimidating. So you can just imagine if you go into calculus and you suck at algebra and you're intimidated by the identities, what's going to happen?
You're gonna fail.
You're going to fail the first test. That's why people can't pass calculus. So that's why I spend so much time on reviewing algebra.
In calculus, do you normally have to have all these memorized?
By the time you get through this homework, you're going to be familiar with them. You can just do a little bit extra and memorize them, but you can get by because in calculus we let you. I let you use them,
Okay.
but you know you always got that one teacher that's not going to, you know. And remember, I'm not teaching 140 unless something happens. I'm not teaching it. So
Sure.
I think you should.
Why not?
write the president. All right.
Okay. I'll call him.
You just got
22.
here.
22. Oh yeah, this one you should even try. Why? Because it's complicated.
Yeah.
Which side should you attack?
Oh,
On the left.
The left. Why? Because it's not written in terms of sine and cosine.
I say B.
Yep.
What?
Yes.
Well, we haven't started yet. If y'all wait and let me be in control for a little bit. Secant x or secant minus 1 over secant plus 1. Okay, rewrite secant. And the trig is done. After that, it's 100% what? Algebra. Now, you may stick on this one because this part of algebra that we're fixing to do, a lot of you suck at.
yeah.
So don't feel pregnant if you don't know what's going on. That's not Miss Payne, is it? She didn't. You still with us, Miss Payne?
I am.
I don't know. Yeah, Miss Payne wrote me an email. I don't know why. One of my drill instructors, Paris Island. I don't know why you never get my text. Next time, Miss Payne, I'm so sorry. Next time I'll leave my phone on during class.
Alright.
So what is the secant?
1 over
1 over the what?
cosine, right?
I didn't say it loud enough. What?
Oh, that's what we're doing.
What does my daughter say? I feel what? I feel targeted. That's what she says. 1 over cosine, whatever the cosine. 1 over the cosine. Listen, if I could sit up here and get made fun of by a person from Pennsylvania, then y'all should be able to take it.
I can take it.
Okay, good. Now what? This is called a complex rational what? Expression. This is just like 1 over x plus 3 over 1 over x squared minus 2. Y'all remember doing those in algebra? Same thing. So I'm going to multiply through by the common denominator. Here, I'm going to multiply by x squared over 1, x squared over 1. That was on your Unit 1 test, was it not? One like this. I think I put complex rationals on there. So I'm going to multiply this guy by the cosine over 1 over what? Cosine over 1. Go to it. And now I don't care what they got on the left. I don't care what they got as multiple choice. I'm going to do the problem, and then y'all can pick the answer if y'all need to. So what will that give us? That'll give us. I'm gonna be nice. That'll give us the cosine over the cosine, which is 1, minus what? Over 1 plus what? Now you pick whatever answer there is over there. Somebody tell me which one it is.
Yes.
B is in Bravo?
Head.
Is it who?
Oh my gosh, you don't.
Oh, I thought you said Brahma. I was like, what?
No, Brahma is a cow. Okay? That I do not fool with. Because they're crazy as hell. I have Angus cattle. And if I pick a second one, it's Hereford. After that, I don't fool with them. Brahma's crazy. I saw this on one, Dr. Pole. Y'all seen Dr. Pole before?
Yeah.
Them people should not have animals. Oh my gosh. I got a farm. I got 10 cows out here. They don't have a head gate. They don't have a holding pen. They're nowhere. And that poor man, he's 80,000 years old. He has to go out there and wrestle.
He makes his son do
Oh my gosh. If one of the veterinarians around this area had to do what he had to do,
They quit.
they would charge you $500 or $600.
Oh, wow.
That's why I do most of my veterinary work on our cows. And I've done a lot of it. You have a head gate, you can pretty much do it. That poor man. You know why he lives in that big old house he lives in? Because those idiots out there pay him the money to do it. Oh, I don't need to get a head gate. I'll just let the veterinarian come out here and charge me $1,200. That's all. People, I ain't kidding you. That's why I don't go around. That's why I don't go around people. They're stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. How we doing, Mandy?
Good.
Okay, 23. I'm trying to catch up to the new questions. Oh yeah, that's a test question. This is where we're doing a proof. So go ahead and write that one down. It's pretty simple. It's only like 2 or 3 steps. You might want to get your highlighter out. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you to bring anything to class, did I?
No.
Yeah, told you not to bring a book and anything. It's Hubert's fault.
What is it?
All right, y'all should be able to knock that out pretty easy. You're not looking for your reciprocal identities. You're looking for what? Let's see if we can say it. It starts with a P. Pythagorean.
Identities.
Hey, you can at least say you learned how to say Pythagoras in here. I want you to highlight. Take your handy dandy highlighter and highlight the and then look at your identities. And what do we got? We've got the tangent squared. Tangent squared 2x plus what? Should be 1. What's cosecant minus cotangent?
Oh, 1.
Yeah.
Way faster.
Is equal to the secant squared. And now look at your Pythagorean. And what's tangent plus 1? So secant is equal to the secant. So whichever one says that. Is it Bravo, Charlie, Delta? Which one is it?
A.
Alpha. I guarantee you somebody said, where's he getting those words from? It's called the dang old NATO alphabet. Dang old, look it up.
Okay.
Dang parents' fault. Okay, how we feeling? We feeling better now?
Yeah.
Okay, I did number 30. That's the next one. I did that one, so that should be that one. So I'm going to delete. See, I'm going to delete that one and that one. So that leaves me with new questions in 10.2, which I'm glad. Good golly molly. Are y'all even trying your homework? No. Oh, we'll just let Hubert do the homework. No, there's 2 or 3 different people sending the same question. Okay, we'll start the 10.2 homework Thursday. So that gives y'all enough time to get, when is 10.1 still open?
Is it open right now?
I mean, is it still open? It ain't due or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a good weekend and work on the homework and send 10.2 next because that's what we're going to do Thursday. Bye.